or in the second one. I'm actually close on those two.
I can't do it, fam. But I'll probably get it on the 2018 one when I get around to that.
I'll play with that one.
I plan to. We'll see how it goes. Seems like everybody gets to the end and they don't forgot a bird or something. So by the time
Yeah,
they get to the end, so
yeah. Talk about crazy.
Where's Cyber? Cyber have some issues or something?
he dropped out for a second. It was abrupt, so I'm assuming something went wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. But
Man, they got a wide body C8 already. Get out of
I'm about
here.
to show the post right quick.
yeah. So Rec, man, you take this shit over, bro. But before that, Rec, y'all make sure y'all share and tweet this motherfucker out, bro. Y'all make sure y'all share it and tweet this bitch out. All right, Rec.
Hold on. I'm about to share this out.
Say it, bro. Man, look at that suit. God damn.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Man, this bitch is dope, bro.
that joint's fire.
Hell yeah. So, like, is it free in the game or you have to...
Yeah, it's free.
For Miles Morales?
Yeah, they just added it randomly. They ain't tell nobody. They just dropped it.
Man, I'm gonna get it, man. Hey, bro. After this show, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Nah, man, you ain't getting that, bro.
Yeah, they didn't only do that. They did that, and then they added muscle deformation updates to some of the suits.
Yeah.
So for better reflection in what's happening with the muscles. I was like, bro, they going all in on the detail.
Yeah, bro. This shit is nice, bro. It's pretty dope, though.
Yeah, you
All
got
right.
respect Insomniac's work rate, man. Fucking hell. I'm saying, shit. I'm doing that.
All right, y'all ready?
All right, guys. We are live. I guess Cyber just gonna, just dip in when he be finished take care of his business or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, records all you, babes.
All right, guys. Welcome to the talk show. You know, featuring me. I'll be the talk. I'll be the co-host of this talk show right here. I'll be in charge of this. And so, therefore, we got introduce ourselves.
Yeah, you know who it is, Innate, or known as the real Innate on Twitter. You know what it is. Always playing games, keeping it gaming. Let's go.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Of course, you know me. This is your boy C Slim.
The man, which is the main host, and you know you got me direct. You know what I'm saying? Always coming in people's podcasts sometimes, and always going to be in people's chats. So we got some news today.
Okay, I'm back.
We got some news today. So therefore,
You know, it's not a great intro for me when I'm on fucking mute, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's great, isn't it? For fuck's sake.
get your butt in here.
Come
Hey,
on,
you
man.
was on mute, dog.
Get
I saw your mic.
Fuck.
Get in here.
What's good, though, people? What's good?
Hello, Cyber Dragon back. Shout out to everybody on this panel. You know, shout out to PlayStation gamers out here. You know. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, babe.
Oh, okay.
All right, Reg, man.
So the first thing we'll talk about is Sony Revenue. So what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on what's going on with Sony right about now?
Well, I'll go ahead and go. The numbers that came out They made 25 billion in revenue. 10 billion is profit. Now, that revenue consists of PlayStation, movies, TVs, the whole enchilada, all the stuff they got their feet in. They're getting several revenue streams coming in from different opportunities and investment plans. With the PlayStation brand, it's on its own, bringing in that revenue. The movies, they make movies. The stuff that's coming, the stuff that's been made. Also, they've been investing in the automobile industry with that Sony car. So they're everywhere. The new 3D audio that they're coming out with, it's going to be in the point where it can rival and probably outdo Dolby Atmos. So then you got the VR stuff that's going on PC and on the PlayStation. The new controllers that's being used by the PC community. So they're dipping, dabbling all over the place, and all that is bringing in revenue. And they walked away with 10 billion in profit. And but you can't sit there and say that all that came from PlayStation. No, it came from a variety of opportunities that they're in. On the flip side, it came out that Microsoft has made 11 billion in revenue, and that's all that was said. 11 billion revenue versus 25 billion revenue for Sony. Yet Sony had 10 billion in profit. So if you see the ratio there, the 25 revenue, 25 billion revenue, 10 billion in profit. If Microsoft had 11 billion revenue, usually it's 1/3 or less of that would be profit. So you can say Microsoft might have made maybe 3 billion in profit from their revenue. That's all I got.
Yeah. No, I was saying like it was. I seen the article on it when it first came out, and obviously the majority of that is attributed to the insane rate at which the PS5 is selling. That's got a ton to do with it. I think it's a good start. Obviously profitable revenue, as much as possible is going to contribute to, potentially what they can get to spend on those exclusives that we all love so much. So, having a breakdown of that, seeing where that's really going to come into fruition for, Sony and what they're going to do with it. I hope that they do reinvest as much as everybody thinks they will, along with, of course, their endeavor over into the PC with some of their titles, not all of them. A lot of people got too excited about that way too quick. So some of their titles, and having some marginal success there, I'll say. I don't think Horizon really blew anything out the water as far as sales wise. But I definitely think, as good as that is, I think talking about this with Rome the other day, that somebody was saying they would give the current president an A+ or an A, and I said I wouldn't give him anything yet because he hasn't done anything yet.
I agree.
So the PlayStation is, its PS5 is riding on the success that everybody expects the PS5 to be the next PS4. That's what it's riding on. And so far they haven't really had to do anything. And we got a decent set or lineup lined up with, Ratchet and Clank coming, Kenna, Deathloop, so on and so forth. So they got a couple things lined up. So they really don't have to say much. I definitely still think, though, that even with everything lined up that they do have set, I think at least by summer, it is time to make some noise. They don't got to make a lot of noise, but they got to make some noise. It's time to say something and let people know what else they got to look forward to. And I think they will. A lot of people with this news kind of mixed it all up and all the other news that was going on with, Microsoft potential's acquisition and Discord and all the other things that were going on in just kind of I heard somebody say recently that PlayStation needs to kind of do something to respond, and I think people get caught up in that because Microsoft has to make a lot of noise right now. Like I think that's the big thing is, and PlayStation doesn't really have to. And if anything, a lot of people always forget how PlayStation starts a generation. PlayStation always starts a generation very quiet. They basically put their chips out there, they put them exclusives out there, they let you know what's coming, and they shut up. They're not all over Twitter popping bottles and going crazy and chatting with fans. Like I don't care to chat with the president of PlayStation. It ain't gonna do me no good. Now if he got a question and he want to put that out on Twitter or something, cool. I let him know what I want. But otherwise, it's not gonna really do much for me. Um, like I said, I still think, what I'm saying, even as a PlayStation fan, you know, first and foremost, as well as PC, like I think, like I said, besides what they've said so far, like somebody said, they felt like it was a lot of a negative, or not necessarily negative news, but a lot of takeaway news. So, you had they finally confirmed the announcement with the removal of the old stores sometime later in the year. Um, and a lot of people were saying they felt like they hope that the rumor um, that basically the PS5 was going to be able to emulate all those titles, which is why the stores are being removed so that they could be redone to be reintegrated into the PS5 to play on the PS5. So, yeah, I mean, I think all in all, it's looking pretty good. Like I said, making more money ain't never a bad thing. Um, but yeah, it's the first bit of good news outside of knowing what we already knew about PlayStation for the year, and I look forward to see what they got to say from here. Like I said, I'm not concerned as a fan. I'm sitting on 100 games at this point, so
There you go. I'm over
yeah,
400.
yeah. So you already know we ain't out here sweating for games. Um, and I think I honestly, even though that in the segment we were talking about the profit for them, um, I think Xbox is doing really good, to tell you the truth. Um, because people always think that just because I don't really play on Xbox or whatever, we got they think PlayStation fans have some sort of super secret negative opinion. Nah, before this, I thought they were doing terrible. They had nothing to offer me. They had nothing I want to play, and that was just an honest opinion. And they added the Yakuza franchise, and I chat with somebody earlier, and I asked him, why didn't you play it before? And he said, honestly, I just didn't even know it was on Xbox until I seen it on Game Pass, and I was like, all right, that's fair. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy it. I hope you do. Like people think we mad or we angry. You know what I'm saying? When you don't want an Xbox, and it's like that was just the truth. And now they brought over Octopath, which literally nobody's seen coming. Um, which that's kind of big for me. I mean, I already own it day one on Switch, and I also own it on PC. So again, it doesn't do anything for me, but it's also not a negative move. I've seen a lot of people posting, playing it, some worse than others. Uh,
KS? Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, some people apparently don't know how to equip
Level up.
equipment that have been playing games supposedly for 30 years. I guess, but I'm gonna let them ride it out because they stay mad. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the revenues for both of them were good, and I think we all gonna be pretty happy going forward. Being PC, PlayStation, Switch, whatever gamers. I think Xbox is a little bit further in the future, but I think they're doing a good job supplementing it right now with some of the third party stuff that they've been adding to the console. So that's all I got to say on it.
All right.
Enzo?
I think most of it's been covered, mate. But it's good to see that. It's good to see the profits that they're making because you can see that they're doing something right. And as long as that continues, then I think us PlayStation gamers will be in a good place. Do you know what I mean? So we've got more games coming. some haven't. But yeah, we got it coming, man. Sony are out there slaying people, mate. Do you know what I mean? So it's all good, man. They're doing what I like to see. That certain things I don't like what I'm seeing, but I'm not gonna keep kicking that. Do you know what I mean? But people know how I feel on certain things. But if they keep doing what they're doing, then yeah, keep bringing me the games and you'll keep me happy, keep feeding me, and we all good, man.
Yep. Yep.
We ain't got no shortage of games going on over it.
Yep.
Do I need an Xbox? No. Am I going to hate on it if I need to? Constructively though. I don't mean it in like, do you know what I mean, to be an arsehole. But like a lot of it, like we'll say something on Twitter, like some constructive criticism, and people will take it the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? And they'll start throwing their toys out the pram. But listen, grow the fuck up and take it. Do you know what I mean? It's simple. But yeah, as long as Sony keep doing their thing, keep feeding us, keeping us happy, then they're doing something right. The profits are showing that. So kudos to them, man.
Right, Rick?
Slim, you want to go? Or you want me to go? You want me to go?
Yeah, man, go, dog.
All right. Well, yeah, it's good that they're doing their thing. You know, movies. No, I enjoy their movies. You know, I enjoy their gaming division. I enjoy everything they do. You know, music. They do their thing with music as well. So you know, with the one that rapper, what's his name again? What's that dude's name again? I forgot his name. But yeah. So they all over the place, you know. They everywhere. They're a hardware maker, but they also got a lot of money in the music industry, and also in the movies industry as well. So it's like they gaining a lot in all three of their areas. You know, mostly it's on PlayStation because that's their breadwinner, you know. But also the movies have been successful. The movies have been successful, believe it or not, and the music has been successful for them. So, you know, I really don't listen to much music and stuff, but it's good that they're doing all these things to improve all around as a company, you know. But I don't praise the company, so I just accept to what they're doing, except for putting it on PC. I really don't care about that. But other than that, it's like, are they gonna be quality? Are they gonna keep having the quality work like they're doing? You know, I'm hoping for that same, like, these studios, they rival each other in a way. They go for the which is better, you know. So they help each other out. Here's what I like about Sony Studios. They help one another. They help one another to succeed. But are their artwork be better than the other person? That's the thing. And so, so they strive to aim higher in what they're doing. You know, just like Insomniac. They wasn't on PlayStation yet, but they succeed with Spider-Man. Along they made so much money back, and so when they join with Sony, they still succeed. They still even succeed for what they started from. So this Miles Morales is selling like hotcakes. Every PlayStation person who bought a PlayStation 5, they end up buying Miles Morales because that game. I never played it, but I heard that game is really good. And so
it is, man.
It is.
And so it just goes to show, you know, Sony got the studios to back up the games. You know, they make quality games. Like this recent awards show, right? BAFTA. This guy's won so much awards with Last of Us 2, Naughty Dog. It still won Game of the Year award. Still, after all the backlash they had to destroy this game, that game still was successful. I'm like,
Well, I
I'm like,
think
bro.
you said a really key thing that a lot of people slip on. They think that as PlayStation fans, first and foremost, that we just automatically accept whatever we get. And nah, we always
Right.
stay on PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
because you as good, you know what I'm saying? Like they said, you as good as the last game you put out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that next game got to measure up to the same amount of quality or better. And we continue to expect that. Like if they get caught
Right.
slipping, we gonna say something. And they think I don't know what this narrative is from some people on the other side. They claim they never see anybody say that, and I'm like, well, we don't normally have to call them out because they normally not slipping up. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they slip up,
Right.
you know, plenty of people I seen not really feeling. Was it Destruction All Stars? They spoke on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
I personally don't think that game is a bad game. I just think it's not for me. I'm also not really a multiplayer person like that. Um, so I was already not really looking forward to it, but I don't think it's a bad game. The same way, like, you know, tons of people loved the last Mario game that came out. Um, and I think I said this last time. Like I played it for, you know, maybe an hour and a half. I tried my hardest to love it, and it's not for me. But I don't think that Mario game is a bad game. I just think it's not for me. And there are differences in that. The same thing with the
Right.
game that actually won Game of the Year in the BAFTA, speaking of which, was Hades. That game has
Mm-hmm.
stupid amounts of praise. I beat it. You know what I'm saying? I played it just to kind of get it out the system, just to see, you know, maybe like I'm a pretty sure myself person when it comes to stuff like that. But I played it just to see, you know, and again I wasn't really feeling it, but I did beat it. It's pretty short. But the thing with that game being a roguelike, it changes every time you play it. You can make a bunch of different decisions, and some people really, really love that kind of roguelike system where every time you play it changes. You can switch up your tactics, different weapons, um, and just really, you know, have a lot of fun messing around with all the dodging mechanics and stuff like that. And I think it again, it's a great game. It just ain't for me. So I didn't really enjoy it like that, but that's a perfect example of um, stuff like that where you feel that way. I definitely feel like the studio that did make that, you know, yeah, they're gonna have to step it up if you're trying to stay in the PlayStation camp. Yeah, you know, that was your first foray, you know, out there. Um, with the PlayStation All Stars. But like you said, we plenty of people spoke about it. I've seen it all over the place. Um, but the key that you also said there, and this was something that a lot of people didn't understand, was when you had Sony Santa Monica put out God of War. You know, it was like, all right, so y'all raised the bar, y'all took the level up. So now the next team up, which was Naughty Dog, they were like they're talking to them, going through things with them, cross, you know, sharing people through the studio, having people come over, you know, taking things that they learn and sharing them with each other, and basically building that cultural bond between each of these studios. And that's what was key. That it was friendly competition. You know, I see what y'all did. It was amazing. We need to do better.
Right.
Right.
You know, and
Mm-hmm.
that's such a key internal element for them. And not only that, but also maintaining the quality from a management standpoint. When I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Kaz Hirai that said it. Um, it might have been Yoshida though, but it was one of them. But he mentioned the team that did God of War was working on a space game at one point,
Yeah.
and he they cut it off after like 2.5 years of development because he felt it wasn't up to the quality of the standards that they produce. They cut it off, and then they made God of War. Like a lot of people don't realize that like internal development can change just like that, and like they were able to stand on quality that firm that even after developing a game for that long, they were just like, we not gonna put this out. You know, I don't care what we put into it, you know, what amount of money and time it's taken. I just don't think it's going to the right place, and maybe it will in the future because that may be the next game they're working on, you know, as part of a two-team split with Sony Santa Monica. But like that to me wowed me because I know so many developers and stuff that wouldn't do that. you know, they wouldn't split. They wouldn't you know, split off on a project that late. So that kind of really spoke to me when I seen that, and that came out. And like I said, that's just what the studios have really done, and really what I hope they continue to do. And that was really my concern. Like we said, you know, with the profits and stuff, you know, Jim Ryan's got to earn, you know, what has come beforehand, and you know, really show us what he's gonna do. You know, so no credit yet. I'm gonna keep it real. Just like
None.
I didn't
Shot of
give
Firehands had been great. That has
it
actually been alright. It was
exactly,
a good launch, man.
exactly.
It was a good launch.
It was a good launch. It was a good launch. That was a
Yeah,
first. It
it
was a
was.
good
Yeah,
start. Um,
yeah.
but you got to turn
Can't
into
deny that.
that. You got to turn into that steamroll that we know PlayStation always
Yeah,
is. You know,
but it's got to
they
carry on, innit? It can't just be. Yeah, it's got to carry on. It can't just be just that because
exactly.
we got a whole generation coming. But yeah, regarding the movies thing that someone said, I'm not sure how I feel about the Ghost of Tsushima movie, to be honest. But I'll tell you what, I do want to see now. I want to see Miles Morales live action. I want to see him.
Hmm.
I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see Miles
I
out
do
there.
too.
You know,
I wonder if Disney will
make it
greenlight
happen. I
that
think
bad
it's.
boy.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be on that. I'll be on that, man.
If
That's what I want to
if
see.
it was a time for it to happen, it'd probably be now. So I'm not gonna say we're
Yeah,
not gonna see it.
I'm hoping we'll at some point. I know we got him in the animated one, but nah, I want live action. I
Which
want the
they
boy
did.
out there.
Put one.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I want him out there kicking some fucking ass, mate. Awesome character. So yeah, Rec. I tell you what, when you get your PS5, man, and
Yeah,
you play
right.
Miles, you're gonna have a fucking good time, my boy. I tell you that now. God
Excellent
damn.
I
game, bro.
believe it.
Excellent game.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. 100.
I'm gonna get it soon later. Right now, been focusing on a whole lot of stuff. But yeah, yeah, especially movies. So the Last of Us TV show, right? Come on with that. Like they picked the right people for them. Then you got Uncharted movie. Two are Naughty Dogs. Money making games. Really. One of the movie, one of the TV show. So it's kind of. I want to see how that all come together. You know, I want to see how this all would play. You know, I'm curious. I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do. Now, not many movies, video game movies, were successful. You know, not many of them were. But I want to see what Sony can do, right, on the big screen with these games. Now, there's talks about Ghost of Tsushima movie coming out, and it works right now. So I'm like, all right, they could pull it off. They could pull up. The same guy who made John Wick is going to do this movie. So I'm curious to know how this all going to play off, because I'm still waiting on that Metal Gear movie. That Robert.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, we ain't seen nothing about that in a long time.
You really didn't hear nothing about it.
Well, I think a big factor for that is the whole thing with Corona, because actually, I'm actually an application support engineer for one of the major studios that deals with accounting for movie studios, and a bunch of them were doing nothing for like 6 to 7 months because they all got shut down
This
mandatory.
pandemic.
Yeah, so only recently, maybe in the past 3 to 4 months, um, have they really started to figure out how to get back to filming with acceptable parameters, and being allowed to shoot with a certain amount of people on set, figuring out how to do it slightly differently. So there's a lot of challenges like that. So a lot of things that were already in development, they definitely had a slow start back up. And even when they did start moving, only really Tyler Perry Studios had really figured it out, because a lot of what they were doing at the time were shooting like smaller sitcoms. So they were able to shoot as long as they got the cast together, held them on set, in separate housing, on the studio lot for 2 weeks, and including the small crew that they needed to film, and then they were able to continue those films. But like, you got to think, look back at some of the scenes in something like the Black Panther, like where they were actually in Wakanda. Like, there's a ton of people on set at any given time frame while they're like actually in Wakanda. And I mentioned that because that was actually shot on Tyler Perry's studio set. A lot of the parts where they were actually seen in Wakanda is actually all green screen and is shot in like a specialized projection room that they have on site there. That's like one off in the world right now. That's only at Tyler Perry Studios. Um, so to think about having all those people together during the pandemic versus all that stuff, so that's probably a real big reason for the hold up on
There's a
that.
fucking waiting list for that, and I want there to use that. But shit.
Exactly. Yeah, tons of people, want to shoot there. So you'll see a lot of that. And Netflix is really back in full swing now. So, if you start noticing, like, your Netflix start kicking out content all of a sudden, but it was super slow for a while. Stuff that was supposed to have been out was delayed, but now you getting like starting to get a little more consistent trickle, 2-3 things a week, so now, like I said, they are figuring it out. So I think we'll hear some news soon, as far as that goes. But yeah, that was a big factor into what you were talking about. So I wanted that just happens to be something I happen to have a unique insight on as to what was going on kind of behind the scenes with all the movie studios and TVs and stuff like that. It was rough, but they back at it.
I just hope the focus don't be. It probably won't, but I just hope the focus don't become so orientated on movies and TV shows from Sony. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think they will. I think they'll keep it separate because they've already been in it. So
yes, but yeah.
It's like
just hope.
A lot of the music that I listen to, I didn't even realize that they had that artist signed. Like, that's how, like, I don't know how, like, undercover it's become. Like, it's not hidden, but like, unless you look for it, like, you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, they've always been top tier on all that stuff, but like we said, the revenue thing that we were talking about, there's a reason why specifically the PlayStation division are the ones getting those crazy bonuses, because, well, they're responsible for it. And I hope going forward that they realize they double down on it. I say again, because they did at one point when the PlayStation division was kind of like, the second or third, and then gradually became the first, and then they really refocused and they had that big restructuring a couple years back, and it was all basically to put PlayStation on the forefront because it was so big. And that's why I'm like, going forward, I really hope that they keep that focus and bring in even more talent. And like I said, it's trickling in. Sony is very organic in their growth.
That's true. Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Versus like Microsoft acts like an American company. Oh, I like that big thing over there. I'm gonna go buy it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they do, And I know some Xbox fans that got them really excited. I look at it from more of a business standpoint. What Microsoft has done in the past as a whole, because they are not a separate entity; they are Microsoft as a whole. So I look at all the endeavors and other things that they've done with that, and I'm cautious. I'm not saying don't be excited, but I'm cautious. And like somebody said earlier, I heard Jack say on something else, was Jack Moved Johnny or whatever he said on something else. Like, I think it was on Weapon Wheel. He said, but what's the point of buying them if you're not gonna do nothing with it? Usually you get bought out because they're gonna improve it. When you had the big merger between T-Mobile, I think it was T-Mobile and Sprint. Everybody with a Sprint phone has completely better service now because Sprint was terrible. So the whole point of that merger, was because of that. And like, for the longest time, I don't know if y'all noticed, you would have had to have a Sprint phone or know somebody with one, but they couldn't use the internet and be on the phone at the same time because all their phones had one antenna in them. Yeah, like T-Mobile changed that immediately.
Damn.
So like stuff like that.
Same thing in the UK, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was T-Mobile and Orange. I think it was. They're like EE now or something. But yeah, excuse me. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so it happened over here as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's supposed to happen for a reason, you know. Like that was to improve the service as a whole, and like I said, I hope that's what people actually want to happen. So when like I said, the growth organically that I'm talking about is like building the new studio with Jade Raymond. I got complete confidence
Don't buy
that
Discord.
yeah, that studio, this is going to be the first time we see a game come from her in years,
Yeah.
because that's Sony don't make investments like that, you know, to grow a studio from the ground up and not see it through. And you know, I know it's a running joke right now because she went from one company to the other, so I get it. It looks real funny, but I mean, to convince Sony to back you fully, you know, to develop a new exclusive for the PlayStation, you got to bring something to the table that's the real deal.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
where she's the key in that is something that gets undervalued a lot in a lot of other studios, and that's the producer, the person who honestly communicates the most between all the different teams when you're building and keeps the vision as one single focus. And she was able to do that when she was working on Assassin's Creed. Those are some of the best games in the series, and not only were they some of the best games, but she's also responsible for the start of the series, which is one of the hardest things to do, is starting a
Fair
series from
play.
scratch.
Which ones did
So
she work on? Do you know? Was it like the Ezio one,
she
the
basically
beginning ones?
left
Was it?
after Ezio. Yeah, I think she had the smallest
Oh,
level
that's
of
when it's started going downhill,
involvement
man.
with the later Ezio one, but she was involved in the beginning of that and then left. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
all
when it
her
became
stuff
the
was
best,
this
wasn't it? Yeah.
So
exactly, and
that's
those
when
are
the
some of
change
people's favorites.
came. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said like all that stuff is really important. I don't think either approach, like I said, is going to be really bad, but I think Sony's capable of doing it all. You know, in that regard, like you said, you know, the you've got the teams that are responsible for, you know, the movies and stuff, and I think they'll do it well. I think a key factor to keep in mind, like you said, is they chose well to start with. The guy responsible for John Wick, I mean, my man's on can't miss right now. So I mean, that's a
Forward.
number one pick. And you know, then of course with The Last of Us, I think they still could have chose better, you know, cast wise, but we'll see. You know, I like the guy's
Yeah, I agree with
acting.
that. They could have done.
He can act, so I'll give him that. And then you're talking about being under HBO. Again, another studio on it hot right now, in as far as production quality, and they hungry. You know, I know people. It's
Right.
hard for people to think of as HBO being hungry, but honestly, they play him from a position that they want to keep your money as much as um, you know, Netflix or any of these other studios that are out here. You know, what is I can't even remember what it is right now. I think it's like $15 or something. It might be up to 16 or $17. So when you getting that high in price off gate, you got to offer me enough to for the cost of admission. You know, like the only service I'll tell you right now that I've never cut off when it comes to these streaming services is Netflix. That's it. So the other ones, you know, I might have started for a show here and there, and
Yeah.
you know, Disney did
What
it
up,
right.
Rome?
Hey, what's happening, Rome?
Only wrong. How you doing, sir?
Going
But
on,
yeah,
bro?
man, it's like I said, you gotta if you want me to continue, you know what I'm saying, you gotta really show me it's worth the cost. And that's the same thing with anything in these streaming services or even Game Pass. You know, for a lot of people it's new, a lot of games in there are new to them right now. But what happens when they not? And then what happens on top of that when they not? And now they ain't got no more deals. Now you ain't paying that dollar, you know. You know, now that finally ran out. Now you 15 a month. So how many
Yeah.
people when they turn 15 a month or more, let's be real, because almost all these things have increased in price at some point. You know, Netflix, Hulu, all of them have gone up in price at some point. So, you know, when these people finally get off these crazy deals where, you know, where they were scheming 3 years off of Game Pass for $1
Yep.
because they had they already had time stacked up. Like I didn't have that because, you know, I wasn't
Mhm.
um I'm playing on PC, so I don't need that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 'cause
it's going to be real interesting.
one of the arguments they try and push, basically, well, games are day and date in Game Pass. Well, from Microsoft Studios, the last day and date game was over 500 days ago. So you're talking over a year, and that was Gears 5. What was the latest?
They about to get one, so that's where all the hype is recently. They
Another,
about to get was it Outriders or whatever? Is that how you say that
well,
game?
that's third party. I mean, I'm talking first party. They claim that with Game Pass, first party games are day and date. So that's true. But the last one was Gears 5, and that was over a year ago.
True. Yeah, I mean, personally, that I don't really know what I would look forward to them right now. As far as first party goes, I mean, they got a lot of stuff in the works, but it's funny. Rome popped in the chat because he was in a conversation with somebody, and they listed all the stuff they were excited for Xbox, and I was like, bro, that's everything. That's the brochure. Like you have no taste. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody asks me what I'm excited for PlayStation going forward, I don't list every game because I'm not excited for every game, and I know he not either. So people always be like, why y'all so harsh on Xbox people? I'm like, stop lying. Number one, what are you actually looking forward to? Stop listing the entire catalog, because some of those games that he even listed, the company don't even know what they're gonna be. So I was like, how are you excited for a game and the company don't even know what it is yet? They literally came out and said that. It looks okay. They got the art style, but they don't know what it's going to be. Like, man, I'm really excited. I can't wait to play this game. What if it comes out and you do cartwheels in it? You know what I'm saying? That's all you do. It's a cartwheel game.
I mean, that's just
you
crazy.
Don't know what it is. Now, I'm pretty sure that developer isn't going to do that. I'm just saying. Yeah, but you never know,
Right.
So I'm like, how you excited for a game and you don't even know what it is yet? Like last time I checked, it's called gaming, bro. That's what we do is we game. You got to play it. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing out here going on with some of this other stuff. Like I've seen some people having a lot of fun, against Cyberpunk, but a lot of people talking all that trash ain't even played it. Like I heard somebody earlier say, oh, like the gameplay was clunky, and I was like, bro, if you don't get off my timeline, get off everybody's timeline with that lie. Like you could say it was broken, you could say the police didn't work properly, you could say you had glitches and all kinds of stuff. That's fine. If you played it and you seen it honestly, cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you did not play it,
I'm playing, man. I'm playing, man. I'm playing me up.
But I played it though. You know what I'm saying? And you talking about 3 decades worth of gaming experience with me. You know what I mean? So talking about is clunky? What are you playing that isn't clunky then? Because if that's smooth, sliding in gameplay where I busted in a facility with a sword, took like 5 people out, switched, jumped on top of the roof, came off the roof, ripped the turret off, sprayed everybody down, and hopped back in my car is clunky, then I want to see what you think is smooth. So
he sounds fun though, I ain't gonna lie. That sounds good.
Bro, it was a blast. Yeah. But I played it on PC, so I'm honest about what my experience was like, and I got an RTX 3080, and everybody ain't got that, and I'm cool with that. But I hope that with the patch and all this other stuff coming out, that eventually at least a PS4 Pro or better, because honestly, I think the game kind of hit a threshold, and there's always a time.
I think a new patch came out for the game though. For
it did.
Cyberpunk
1.2 came out, and it's massive. It's huge. But what I was saying is, like, I just don't think, regardless of how much they could fix it, I just don't think the game is. People got to accept realistically that's a game that kind of crossed the threshold into next gen while it was in development, and you got to expect a certain level of bad performance, at least not necessarily glitches and stuff, but like performance wise, you're just not going to get the true experience on a PS4 like day one, and especially not an Xbox day one.
Oh shit. Oh shit!
But at the same time, what Cyberpunk did create, because the way it released, the way it ran, the issues that was there, going forward, practically anybody who bought that and played that game really can't complain about any games dropping by any first or third party as far as something wrong with the game. Because a lot of people gave that game a pass. You know, they wanted that game to be the next big thing, and it was almost. But I mean, the next Sony game that drops, if it has issues with it, you can't complain about it. The first thing they're going to bring up is, well, you let Cyberpunk go by, you gave Cyberpunk a pass, because that's the next thing that's going to happen as far as going forward with Cyberpunk and future games from all developers, first, third, and indie. Because you let this game, you know, you did come after CG5 and let them know this and that. They fixed it with the refunds and all this and that. Suppose this is a great game to play, good story. They're fixing it. They're still fixing it. It's yet to be back in the PSN store, or is it in the store now?
No, they haven't put it back yet. But that stuff does take. It's
time.
because you got licensing and stuff to go through. I'm not even sure the update actually went live on the consoles yet, because you have to go through certification first. I got it on PC about 2 hours after they posted it, because that's one of the wonderful things about PC is that they don't have no certs, so they could just push it as soon as they're ready. So I can only speak for it there, and that's all I'll say. I only speak from my personal experience. As far as that goes, like I said, I didn't have any really main issues, and I'll say what they actually were, because people always ask, but like Twitter is hard to get your whole thought out. I had one point where I aimed and there was like screen retention, so like the aiming reticle was stuck on the screen. It auto saves a lot though, so I literally loaded maybe 10 seconds back and it never happened again the entire game. And then I had one other glitch, which I have literally seen happen in tons of games, where an NPC walked through something he shouldn't have. Like he walked through a locker, and like if you've ever seen where NPCs interact with stuff they shouldn't in a game, and the stuff in the locker or something flips out because it's not meant to actually be touched. So I've had that happen in a lot of games, but that's literally all that happened to me, and in about 80 to 90 hours of play. And then I started another playthrough, and I had an instance where I was getting in the car with, I can't remember, Pan Am, and it wouldn't load to the next scene. And literally I searched for like 2 seconds, and all you had to do was create another save file after you loaded in the same exact place, and then load that save file instead, and it loaded. So like nothing really stopped me in that game that was like frustrating. And then it was kind of funny because at the same time, another game that came out in a similar time frame, I had all the frustration, which was Assassin's Creed. Like, oh my god! And I'm playing on PS5, so I got the amount of times I was doing traversal in that world and got stuck and was unable to completely move, and I either had to die or like reload completely and go back. I'm talking like, I don't know if you play, but like some of the distances you have to run in that game to get to another place is ridiculous. So if you have to reload and the last time it saved was the previous town, you know what I'm saying? Like you about to cut it off for the night. Like that's the kind of stuff
you're talking about, Valhalla?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but all you can do is just jump on the horse, bro.
Well, no, I'm saying like the distances though. Like some of the distances you had to go just to get to another spot, you know what I'm saying? Like was just crazy.
Yeah,
so,
but
like if I constantly had to deal with, like I'm talking about, like I had to deal with it a lot. Like at one point, like I thought about just stop playing until the next patch came out, because what was happening is every time I would go to stop somewhere along the way, and I would, you know, kind of like climb up an area, there was a number of times where he would just keep getting stuck. Like he would climb in between like a pillar or something,
right,
and then he wouldn't be able to move at all. So I had that happen a lot, but then I found out I wasn't the only one. that was having
Right.
any trouble with it. So people were having an issue where they were loading into the game and then they were loading in drunk and they couldn't get rid of it.
Oh, snap!
Oh shit.
Yeah, so that was
but
happening.
But people were complaining the Ubisoft to fix these things, but they want to put out more microtransactions for outfits and things like that instead of working on patching the game.
Exactly.
You know?
And they was doing a lot of that. And that was also
Uh-huh.
really kind of frustrating from someone who's played the series literally from Altair, number one,
Altair, there you go.
seeing it from day one to what it's become. And I'm like, I like some of the stuff in the game, but then it's like, even one of the guys, he gets most of the stuff. I think he gets it for free. Even he was complaining about the amount of extra the extra the cosmetics and whatnot they were putting out because it was starting to exceed what was even available in the game, period. And he doesn't even have to pay for it. He
It's not
gets
just
it.
that though. It's not just that with Assassin's Creed now. It's got to the point where it's so fucking bloated. You're like to the point where, do you know what, mate? I don't want to fucking do this no more. Like, I just finished number 2 again, right? That was perfectly balanced. You know what I mean? There was enough to do, but not too much. But I sit and think about Origins when I've done Origins or try to get through Odyssey. Not happening, mate. Yeah, like I did with Origins, but that's because I like the setting and that. But Odyssey, I lost that connection with it. It was just like, no, I'm not doing it. Do you know what I mean? So, gonna pick up Valhalla at some point. I've been waiting on that. So
I think on sale. Yeah, I think on sale you're gonna be all right, man. And I don't think it's a bad game. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of issues with it, and I seen a lot of other people. It's people I don't even follow that came up on my timeline that I seen having other issues with it. People that even like the game. You know what I'm saying? And I like the game well enough. Personally, some of the other changes and stuff they did, it's like you said, it's too bloated in a lot of areas. There's a lot of unnecessary traversal that could have been shortened. Their first thing I remember they came out and they said we didn't make it as big as Odyssey, and then people got the game and they were like, "Are you kidding me? Like, why even lie to me like that? This game is clearly just as big, and there's 3 maps." So like there's a lot of stuff they do that kind of like waste your time. You know what I'm saying? It's not respecting your time completely. I want to spend a nice tight, even 50, 60 hours. I'm good with that, but it needs to make sense. Make it make sense. Like I gave somebody, I play a lot of Japanese RPGs, and there's a very big difference in the way I spent 50, 60 hours in Valhalla versus I was playing now for the first time Trails of Cold Steel. But pretty much the entirety of that game has all been story, character development. Like I'm literally experiencing the game like it's long for a reason, is what I would say, and not just filled with a bunch of filler and, like you said, bloated with a bunch of busy work to kind of just hold me down. And like one of the biggest things I hated in that game is the farming. Like you have to do an inordinate amount of farming to plus up the gear, and it was done that way to waste your time, to make you spend more and more time in this game.
It's like it's too much, isn't it? It's like I think I said to Cyber in the chat the other day. It's like it's far too bloated. It's like eating too much. You know what I'm saying? You just feel you're just like and you're just like no, when you have that perfect balanced meal, you just like hit the fucking spot. But no, they're out there taking the piss like too much. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want to spend this much time in the game doing the same shit over and over again. I don't want to be collecting this over and over again to upgrade this and then do it again to upgrade that. I ain't feeling that. I'm not on that. And I think the perfect game that represents that perfect balance in a world like that is Ghost of Tsushima. They didn't force
I was literally going to say.
None of that. And you know what? I could go and collect all the sword kits that I wanted, all the outfits, and I didn't have to pay nothing for them. No microtransactions, no nothing. So that's the difference. And I said to Cyber the other day, the difference between quality from what you get from exclusive and a multi-plat like Assassin's Creed. You can compare the two, because a lot of people say, "Oh, Ghost of Tsushima's a rip-off." No, Ghost of Tsushima took what it done really, essentially, and made it better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons I ain't needed to play Valhalla yet. I had Ghost of Tsushima and I got it upgraded for my PS5. Do you know what I mean? So I'm good.
Yeah.
And I've just like Cyber said, I've gone back to the Ezio collection now. Some of the
There
best
you
in the
go.
game, some of the best games in the series. And
Yeah,
like I said,
I got that not too
number
long ago.
2. Yeah, I just finished number 2. Got the plat earlier. And was it enough? Yeah. Was I happy with it? Yeah. Was it enough content? Yeah. There's still a couple of things left to do in the game as well. Do you know what I mean? So I'll move on to Brotherhood, and then I'll go back and do what I've got to do. They're not overly bloated. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They're not overly bloated, but I'll give Origins a pass from the bloatedness because I like the setting. I like ancient Egypt, right? That was all cool, but
Oh, bro,
But I
Origin was
feel- but I
nice.
feel-
I hit Odyssey, right? I hit Odyssey, and then it finally hit me that, bruv, this ain't nothing to do with Assassins. This ain't about no. What the fuck is going on here? Do you know what I mean? You got Origins, right? Starts the essentially the beginning of the Brotherhood, and then you bring out Odyssey, and then you make it 300 years before the Origins. Like, what the fuck? What's going on? Do you know what I mean? Like this. Come on, man. You're gonna confuse people, and you're doing a whole XP thing. Nah, just so people buy the boosts and that.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, that got really, really, really bad in Odyssey, and I say this as someone who got the platinum in that game.
Congrats,
And-
man.
Shit,
Congrats.
Kudos,
thank
man.
you.
Kudos. Nice.
It took about a
Bloody
year
hell.
because I got tired of that crap for a while, and then I went back and I finally finished it.
There's
But
2 platinums for that, bruv. Oh, man.
yeah, I know, right? You would think.
Mm.
But nah, I went back and I finished it. But something I noticed while I was gone from it and I came back, they eventually raised the level cap to like 70 or something like that, or maybe
Oh.
above that. And something that was ridiculous that I noticed was even when I was doing stuff that was on my level and completing quests that were on my level, like I was getting like percents of a percent of EXP.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I was
Right.
like, what is the point of this? If the EXP is so low that I basically can't even get enough from completing. And I'm talking about some of these quests were like 20, 30 minutes,
Right.
even 40 minutes long. And I'm like, all right, so I should just rush to the end or whatever the main is and, finish whatever I got to do and be done with it because there was probably, I don't even want to know. I'm glad there wasn't a trophy for that game for doing all the quests because I'm not really sure anyone has ever actually done that.
Oh, nobody has.
Yeah, they just kept coming. And
But did you
was
did you
pointless.
purchase the time saver at
I
all?
did not.
Just asking.
I did
Well,
not.
see, because you didn't buy the time saver and they knew you didn't buy it, they made. I bet you there's an algorithm in there. Well, this player didn't buy the time saver, so we just make it harder and longer for him to get through this game.
I'm not
To
gonna
try
lie.
to
I
get you
almost
to get the time
almost caved.
saver.
I almost caved a number of times,
Yeah,
but I
'cause it
didn't
sounds
because I
that's what
realized
they
I didn't
did.
need it.
Yeah, you don't need it, but they
Yeah, I
want you to
didn't
get
need
it. So they do anything they can to get you to buy it. And now Valhalla, since you and CJ done Valhalla, did Ubisoft put a time saver in there for sale for Valhalla?
Yes,
I'm
they
sure.
did.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah. So
Yeah.
not only do they
Oh,
have
they
that,
did again?
yeah.
Oh,
So
no.
what they really
Christ,
have
yeah.
is they have the time saver packs for gear collection. So this is the thing I was telling you was annoying.
Oh.
So
Mhm.
they changed the upgrade system. So so in Odyssey you could just get a
Oh.
legendary, right? And then you would just need material if you wanted to keep it to upgrade the level. That was it. So, but if you want every piece of gear starts at like standard now. And if you
Mhm.
want to make it legendary, you can. So they were like, no, we're making everything count this time. That's what we're doing. No, but it takes a crazy amount of material to level something that high.
Oh no.
So then they selling you the material packs as time saver packs so that you can upgrade your gear. So it's a whole different setup this time.
Oh.
And it's super annoying and it's hella spread out and you got to do a bunch of raids and all this stuff in order to max out a single piece of gear.
Of course.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's a
That's
whole
what I'm saying, they're
mess.
still on that bullshit.
Yeah,
They
no
start- I
wonder
think
the
they started
platinum
that
is.
in, yeah, go on, Cyber.
Yeah, I was saying one little note. No wonder the platinum for Valhalla is 120 hours plus for that platinum.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Enzo.
All right.
Man, it's cool, man. Don't matter now. It's all right.
Okay. All right. Right?
Rick.
All right. So I know we were talking about like this, but we gotta go on to the next topic, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, you kids want to hit
Oh,
it.
shit, we're getting a warning, boys. Getting a warning, mate.
Stay on topic.
All right.
All right. Okay, let's go down to fake gamers, right? Fake gamers. We got some fake people that don't really game. Also, we got fake people that claim they hate Xbox, but they don't really hate Xbox. They go and buy. For years they talk about, oh man, Xbox trash. This is trash. I would never buy one. But they go back and buy one. You know, what's your thoughts on this?
I can go.
Well, go ahead, Cyber. Go ahead.
Well,
Savage.
with the fake gamers, man. So me and one individual on Twitter going back and forth, and he made a mistake of calling me stupid. So, so I asked him for his credentials, which he never presented. But he is complaining about since they're shutting down the store about PS3 games. So I told him, I said, well, if you want to play old games on PS3, buy your PS3. You can still buy the old games. You got till July 1st to buy all those games. He said, but I want to play them on my PS5. I said, that's not going to happen. Either you're going to play it through PS Now, or whatever they're trying to do with the emulation thing down the road, it might happen there. But I said, I kept my PS1, 2, 3, and I got my Pro, right? I also kept my NES, Super NES, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Wii. I didn't get a Switch or a Wii U, no interest. Still got my Sega Genesis, Sega CD, and Television 2 game system. I still kept my systems. If you gave up your PS3 to jump on PS4, that was your mistake, But that's why I asked for his credentials, to see what he's playing, Then I checked him out. He's an Xbox guy. Because the next thing he said, when Microsoft is protecting, their games from the past and 360 and so forth, they're not doing all those games, just some of those games. And like you seen the Xbox Games with Gold for next month. That's what they're championing. That stuff right there, they can have it, man. I mean, if you're going to cry for PS3 games, really show why you want to play these PS3 games. One time during Six Podcast, he was actually going through and checking individuals' trophies, who was asking for backwards compatibility with parts PS3 and PS2, stuff like that. And then he brought me up. Meaning, if I wanted backwards compatibility, he would understand me wanting it, because I play a lot of damn games, But somebody who doesn't really play games, crying
That's
for
putting
that.
it lightly, mate. That's putting it very lightly.
Yeah, go ahead.
There. You saying that that's putting it very lightly, mate. Didn't mean to cut you off, so carry on doing your thing. But that's.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I'll pass you the ball. There you go.
Oh, me? What have I got to say about
Yeah.
it? Oh, God damn, where do I start? I'll keep it short and sweet. You fucking frauds. Shut the fuck up. Stop bitching and whining about it. Listen, all these people that keep saying, oh, Sony, this, that, and the other, where's the backwards compatibility? I don't understand if they're moaning. If Sony come out and said, look, we're on this, we're fully on this backwards compatibility, and then you got rid of your system and you found that the PS5 or the PS4 wasn't, I'd understand all the bitching and the whining like little girls, yeah? I get that. But if you want to play PS3 games and you're expecting to do it on a PS5, you know damn well you can't, and you get rid of your PS3, or the PS4 even, for that matter, then that's on you, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? That's on you, mate. That's your fuck up, no one else's. Pick up the system. The games are going to be cheap. You can probably pick up a cheap PS3 anyway. I don't know. Yeah. Someone mentioned it in there, I think it was Persona. You get a new system for new experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is backwards compatibility all right? Yeah, it's okay. It's there. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, then it's not. Yeah, but If you want to complain about games that you can't play on a system that's 16 years old by now, where the fuck were you at? Like, seriously, if you haven't played them and beat them before, where the fuck were you at? And I understand some people are new coming into gaming and that, they're relatively fresh, yeah, we'll put it. That's all cool. Just don't be jumping on the bandwagon of hating on something from certain companies because it's the cool thing to do. The same as what we saw with the hate with The Last of Us 2. It was the cool thing to do for everyone to bash it, so everyone was on it. Just, if you're pissed about it, you're pissed. Cool, just shut up, innit? Like, we understand. And I might sound like I'm being harsh in that, but you see the same people finding something to moan about it every time. Like, just, if you want to buy it, go and pick up a system while you got a chance and download them games. If not, you can always pick them up physical anyway, because digital wasn't really big back then. So most of the games you want, you can probably get. And I think I said to you, Cyber, the other day, some games, yeah, they might be expensive, but to get physical. But if you want them that bad, mate, go and download them on the PS3. Pick up a PS3, they're not that expensive. Same for a Vita. Do you know what I mean? It might be hard to get the Vitas, but if you want something bad enough, you get it, right? So right. That's my opinion. That's my take in life. If you want something bad enough, you hustle and you go and get that shit, yeah? Just don't keep flooding everyone's timelines, crying about something that, 10 minutes ago you didn't give a shit about. We ain't see you say nothing about it. And then because it's the cool thing to do, because you've got a few people hating on it, you're jumping on that bandwagon as well. Stop bandwagoning and be yourself. Yeah? Stop following this trend of being a fucking dickhead on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Just play your games, get your game scores up, get your trophies up, be you, play what the fuck you want to play, yeah?
And shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Just stop hating on everything else. It always seems to be that they're hating on what Sony does. Because we don't see the same energy coming from Nintendo about the fucking Mario games and shit. Where's your energy there, bruv? It ain't there. But as soon as Sony do something, oh, fuck me, is that the Legions start coming out? Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck, bruv, what's going on? It's like, just play your games. Just don't get yourself called out in streams and that, and then look like a fool and run away when someone asks for your game score or your PS.
Yep.
Play your games, do what you do, and do it. Do what you say you're doing, and play your fucking games. Yeah, you might be trash at them. I'm not calling anyone out. You might be shit at them. We get that. Not everyone's good at everything, but don't whine about it. If you're pissed, if you're that pissed about the PS3 store or whatever getting shut down, go out and buy the system, buy the games on the store, or buy them physically. You know what I mean? That's why, and that's another thing why we need physical to remain a thing. Yeah, because the opportunity is always there to get it.
Oh, bro, we need that physical, man. It's still around for a long time, bro.
Yeah,
we need
exactly, man. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. And this proves a thing as to why. Do I think it's a bad thing? No. These systems they're fucking old now. Do you know what I mean? So, was it going to happen at some point? Yeah. As Thanos will say, it was the inevitable. He's clicking his fucking fingers, man. That's exactly what Sony's doing. If you want them, quickly get it. Yeah. It's time to move on. The PS5's here now. Not be focused on old stores and keeping them servers up or whatever, causing, financial drain. Just let them get on with the new things. Let us have the new games, right? And that's what I'm going to say about it, because I'll stop ranting otherwise, mate. So, yeah. What do you think, boys?
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle on the whole store being closed and whatnot. I mean, I been gaming since, Atari/NES and all that. And, I left a lot of that behind. I'm not really a fan of like side scrollers and stuff. And that's the majority of what that generation consisted of and whatnot. But a big spot for me that stayed around was, PS1. PS1 is special for me. That's where 26 years ago, the PlayStation journey started. And that's also where I really got introduced to Japanese RPGs. And that is still where some of the best ones to this day reside. And Japanese RPGs age differently than a lot of other games. A lot of games aged badly, including Final Fantasy VII. You know, I mean, people could be a fan all they want. That game aged like trash because it was one of the first ones where they really tried to push, you know, the polygon style versus sprites and stuff like. Um, and but then you've got games like I said, my favorite game of all time right now, and I do play it every year to this day. It's not actual nostalgia, and it still destroys the majority of these storylines and character development in a lot of these games today, which is Xenogears. And number two for me is Suikoden 2 specifically. I like one. I did buy it recently um, on my Vita as well, so I can make sure I keep playing it. I already had Xenogears there, and I own two physical copies of Xenogears. One that is unopened and still in the plastic because it's that serious. Um, yeah, for real. I wish I had a physical copy of Suikoden 2. It's worth about $350, which is crazy. I borrowed it from a friend when I was in middle school, and I thought he was gonna forget I had it, and I tried to keep it because I didn't think I would love it that much. Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. A lot, like you said, Umar. A lot of PS1 games have aged terribly. These are some of the exceptions. You know, like
You ain't lying, though.
yeah, I mean, I'm
You
not
ain't
like
lying.
I remember Jet Moto very fondly, but I promise you, if I started it up right now, it would look like a bunch of triangles. Um, but yeah, like I said, a lot of the JRPGs specifically, they'll still use sprites and stuff. There's a lot of games right now that they use that same style to this day were developed, you know, a year ago or 2 years ago that could stand up to, you know, but the big one right now, all the Xbox fans, you know, became Japanese role playing games fans this weekend with the release of Octopath Traveler on Game Pass. You know,
And they still can't play it, man.
yeah, you know they can't equip swords on it or anything, but you know they're um they're fans now of the Japanese role playing games. But yeah, man, like that's where it's a big part for me. But at the same time, like I said, it's not so many of them that you know I'm tripping, and I got a couple different ways to keep playing them. And I'm also a PC gamer, so you know what I'm saying, emulation till I die if I need to. Um, you know, I could do that too if I got to go that route. We've been had to do that to Nintendo for years, you know, and some of the Game Boy games and stuff like that. You know, but gamers gonna take it into their own hands. I'm gonna be honest. If you tell them no, you know, gamers will always find a way. They ain't gonna let you know history die. You know, I
We
do I
don't
do
die, we
hope they do
multiply.
exactly. I do hope Sony you know do figure it out. I don't think it's as big as a lot of people think it will be, but I hope they figure it out mainly just for preservation's sake. I hope they figure out how to make it all run, you know, accordingly on on the PS5. Like I said, it won't be something that I'll use tremendously, but um, you know, like I said, a lot of my PS1 JRPGs, maybe go back and play a little Parasite Eve, some of the real big classics.
Yes.
You know, I can't never let those go. But it's a lot of other stuff that, like I said, I don't want to go back and play, and I won't. Like, and it's the same way. It's the same way for some of the other games. I had a conversation about, you know, the backwards compatibility on Xbox, and I was like, a lot of the games that a lot of people were talking about, I just don't think in that particular regard. I still think it's important. I think they did really well with some of the 360 ones, the way they updated them in the Auto HDR, and I've seen you know what Red Dead Redemption 1 looks like in 4K with the auto HDR and all that stuff, and it looks good. They did a good job with some of that stuff, but some of the stuff is again it's too old. Um, Knights of the Old Republic, people were talking about that the other day. Again, it's a classic. It's a super classic. It's like Xenogears and all those. It's one of those that came along and is really one of the best things that Bioware has ever done. And I played it not too long ago, and it again, I played it on PC, and it's aged terribly, but I'm a big fan of, you know, um, story and character development and stuff like that, and that's where it really shines. And even then, it was still pretty rough. And I'm as big a fan as it gets when it comes to story and stuff like that. And I've trudged through some pretty rough stuff, to play some of the classics sometimes. And yeah, they just, like I said, not all of them age very well, and that's one of them. One of the biggest things that I heard somebody mention the other day, as someone who is a actual Bethesda fan, not post acquisition Bethesda fan, you know.
I was Bethesda.
Yeah, woo, post acquisition. I'm a fan
Hey,
now.
didn't you know they're the best thing since sliced bread now? Didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
What do
They
you mean?
reinventing the wheel,
They're the
all
best
kinds of
out there
shit.
now. God damn, Naughty Dog, who? Like, what? Yeah. Huh.
They out here, inventing new types of planes and shit now. You know, at least that's what I hear. But yeah, like you said, my stuff doesn't change with the wind like that. Morrowind was a really famous one for the Elder Scrolls series when it first came out, and like I was telling somebody, I was like, I didn't want to play it back then. I thought it was ugly, and I still think it's ugly. And guess what? Because we so far in the future now, it's even uglier. So I don't think so. You got me fooled if you think I just don't see the majority of these people out here capping for certain games via backwards compatibility that they out here playing it. I'm sorry, bro. Like, show me your completion, start to finish, since Morrowind hit Game Pass, that you played that all the way through. Because I'm telling you, most of these people going download it because they don't got no data cap and they already got Game Pass. You're gonna download it. It's gonna be like, wow, that was neat. I experienced it. And if you got the space, you're just gonna leave it on there for bullshit's sake and cloud chasing, and you never gonna touch it again. That's really what's gonna happen. You're not gonna finish it. You're not gonna really play it. And the same for Jade Empire. That game was one of the bigger things that BioWare did, and it looks like trash today. It looks terrible. It is damn near unplayable. But people, again, that was one of the games people were talking about. Making shopping lists for. I feel you. I feel you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these games, like I don't think it's like I said, I don't think backwards compatibility is, a bad thing. I like a lot of people said. Like, I was like, look, bro, options are good. I feel you, but let's stop acting like people out here, you know, create an entire backlog list and they just sitting here playing games from 2006 all year long. And there's some people that are retro gamers, but they're even a smaller portion of the community than Twitter is. And most of the time they playing stuff, they can't stop playing things like NES games and Super Nintendo and Sega, so that's what they talking about. And most of them, the earliest they'll go, but is PS1, maybe PS2. Um, Personally, as far as Sony's catalog goes, I can't see myself playing anything that was on PS3 or PS2. I played what I wanted to play in that era. I'm good. Um, Nothing really stuck out to me. Um, that I want to go back and play. Anything that I didn't finish on PS3 has been remastered at this point. Um, or is about to be. Um, you've got, was it the legendary Mass Effect collection coming? Finally fully redone up. So that's big. You had the re-release of Ni no Kuni, which was literally the last game I did not get to finish on my PS3. So I was super hyped when that got released. I own it on PlayStation and I own it on PC. Like I said, when I say I want something, I support it. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, I let it be known that's what I want.
That's what I was saying about the whole store thing on the PS3 and the Vita and that. If you want something bad enough, then you go out there and get it. Do you know what I'm saying? You go out there and support it and buy it while you can. So
exactly, and that's what I did. I went out there and I made sure I bought Suikoden off the store. You can't get part 2 for whatever reason, and I forgot what the issue was with that, but I bought part 1. I've got 2 somewhere. I think I got it emulated somewhere. on my computer because you literally can't buy it. And I'm not about to spend. I can't even justify to my fiance spending $400 on a PlayStation 1 game. So
Hell
yeah, that's
no.
about the only way that's gonna happen.
In my
But
case,
yeah.
one more note. I still got my PS3, the 500 gigabyte Slim. I got about 20 physical games that I still need to go through and play, and about 45 digital. Once I am going to run through those and finish them because I need them to reach a goal I'm trying to reach. So I need those PS3 games that I got. The
God
fact
damn,
that Sony made
Cyber, do you know
sure
what?
that go ahead.
God, do you know what, my bro? You need to leave them platinums alone. It's borderline illegal what you're doing, man. Right? Legendary status and that. Right? Sorry to cut you off, but God, it's getting illegal, bro.
But the fact that they made sure and noted through the website that if you still have the movies that you might have purchased on the PS3, any of those TV shows you might have bought, all your games that you bought, or any games that you buy now until July 1st, you still have access to download those games to your console and play them. So that's not being taken away. They're just shutting down the store, you know. And if you're looking to pay some of those, buy it now or wait for some sales. So they're going to probably put over half or all the store on sale, you know, because all the devs and publishers of those games, minus the license stuff, well, either they put them on sale, make some money, or make nothing. So when they shut down the store, you can't buy those no more. Unless you can get it through Newegg or who else sells digital copies? CD Keys might be able to purchase a digital game as far as PS3. But I still got those and I'm good to go. You know, I am good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I said, I think for the most part, everybody's gonna be pretty good on it. I mean, like I say, I think it does get exaggerated. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad option. Like I said, I hope they figure it out, and it doesn't hurt to have it. But I'm also not tripping if they don't. You know, at the same time, you know, some of the posts on Twitter and stuff be killing me. They be acting like all they play is backwards compatibility stuff all day long, and I'm like, look, bro. Like at some point, you gotta stop capping. I know you lying at this point because I follow some of these people, and I'm like, look, I can see what you actually playing, and it's not that. So stop, you know. But yeah, like I said, man, it's a good option. At the end of the day, if they do, I think it'll be profitable for them to a decent amount. You know, but I also know it's more complicated than people want to let on. You know, over time, licenses expire.
Yep.
You know, licensed music in the game, so you can't get the game specifically because the music or something with the composer or like it's complicated. So it's way more complicated than a lot of people want to believe. And you know, like I said, for a lot of the architecture was a lot easier for Xbox. They started later. You're talking about the PS2 generation. So I mean, PlayStation alone probably got 5,000 or 6,000 more games they would have to even bring over from the PS1 generation, and then the PS2 was out before the Xbox, so it's got 2 times the library, if not 3 times the library of the original Xbox. So PlayStation has a much bigger endeavor to deal with backwards compatibility, especially if you're talking about complete backwards compatibility, which Xbox does not have for the 100th time because people keep saying it. Including the one homie, he's cool with me. He be messing with some suspect people lately, but he cool with me. Ramu Death or whatever, you know, on Twitter, aka Tony Polanco. Yeah. He said it recently, and I keep correcting him. And I'm like, they do not have complete backwards compatibility. Let's stop lying. You know, and I know he know better now because it got pointed out about 600 times on that post. So we need to stop lying about complete backwards compatibility because they do not have that. But what they do have is decent, and it's a good option. You know, for those that want it, it's not something I'll ever use. But you know what I'm saying? My situation is different like everybody else. So we all game differently. We all like different things. And like I said, I've been gaming on PC and consoles for over 20 years now. So, anything I really want, for the most part, that isn't available on consoles, I can get it on PC one way or another. Believe that.
Exactly, man. Yeah, Umar just pointed out what games: 38 OG Xbox games and 500 certain 360 games. So yeah, not complete, is it?
Nope.
They need to stop spinning that narrative, mate. Sort of fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, pack it in, boys. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just saying, just the truth. Just the truth.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking
Not
for.
all of us are stupid. You know what I'm saying? Not all of us are dumb, man. Like, some of us know what's going on around, or we watch, or we've got friends that know what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, some people just need a little bit of a nudge into the right direction because they're trying to fry that false. Just allow it. Stop.
Yep.
Just stop. It's not about backwards compatibility, though. To be honest, we're in a new generation, right? So you want new fucking games, right? That's what it is about. Like I said before, it's nice to have it, yeah, because playing Ghost of Tsushima at 60 and other things like God of War, it feels fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but if you play them on the Pro, then they played well as well. Okay, it might have only been 30, but do we really care about that? Me personally,
I'm gonna be honest. That never really bothered me on a bunch of stuff, and I don't know. Some people, I feel like, I don't know, they have other issues going on. But I played during the PlayStation 4 generation. I was playing it on a 165 hertz monitor on PC, and I have no problem playing my PS4 Pro whenever I felt like it. I platinumed Ghost of Tsushima on my PS4 Pro, so
There you go.
and it didn't bother me at all. And then I would turn around, go to my PC, play Killing Floor 2 at 165 hertz. So I don't understand people who have an issue switching back and forth.
Your PC, right? Your PC is not rampant. Your PC is not playing about, bro. And some of these guys that we claim that exclusives and that, etc., should got a PC because they want to play them at quote unquote 144, right? You ain't doing that.
A lot of them ain't got the rig.
Exactly. Yours been like, I've got no doubt in what you say at all, 100%. But some of these guys on Twitter and that are saying this foolery, they just shut the fuck up and go back to wherever rock you came from, because you're just talking nonsense. It's just something else to, you're just trying to fuel the war, and then some of these people turn around and say, "Oh, I don't want to be part of the console war." Like, nah, mate. These people just and you said it yourself. You jumped on Ghost at 30 on the Pro.
Mm-hmm.
And then you jump back on your computer on your PlayStation like 3 times the frame rate because.
I also know a lot of these people are lying, because the only time they mention frame rate is when it has something to do with PlayStation. But then all these people also own a Nintendo Switch and they got nothing to say about that. So I know these people are lying.
Well, yeah,
One quick note.
That Nintendo Switch is dropping a lot of times, man. I'm not even gonna lie, especially online games as well. That frame rate tanks, and like to the point that, like I've said before, even my daughter turned around and said when she was playing Sword and Shield, she went to the wild there and she said, "Daddy, it looks weird." And I looked at it and that thing was, because it was connected online as well, right? It was connected online, and it was dropping, man. It looked rough. For back then she was 4 or 5, 5. She turned around and said it looked weird. I thought, what's she on about? And I looked at it, I watched it, and the frame was like, god damn. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's.
But one quick note. Thank you, Innate, for declaring that you platinum Ghost of Tsushima. So that means all 5 of us right now on this panel, each of us has platinum Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep, that completion rate.
That speaks a lot, because of them selling over 6 million copies, and it came out that at least 3 million players beat the game. that's beautiful. That's a great game that was designed by them, and the fact that half the copies sold, 3 million beat the game. Now a lot of games can say
volume.
That. Yeah,
it does. Well, that speaks of really great game design and respecting your time as a gamer, and giving you a story that a lot of people wanted to see to the finish, and a lot of people still will.
Now. I hate to cut you off. I'm going to call it now, right? Do you know why so many people actually beat the game? Is because they don't force you to do all the bullshit on the side. It's not bullshit, but I'm just saying, like, you know, certain things like Assassin's Creed, bring Assassin's Creed up, you can compare it, but you can compare the two. And I think they go well. You know, you got one that's overly bloated, bullshit. Like, no, you're gonna yak up. It's too much. And then you got something that's perfectly fine. It's the right amount, and you can just crack on and do your thing. Do you know what I mean? I think that speaks volumes as to why it's like it's enjoyable. It was enjoyable. Yeah, like some of the stuff you was on about for Valhalla does not seem enjoyable. Like having to farm for this. Do you know what I mean? It's not about that.
Yeah.
So I'll let you carry on. Sorry for interrupting you, but I'm calling it on that. It's because it's not bloated. And a lot of people say the world's empty in that for Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know what game you've been playing, but you're full of shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, boy.
CJ.
Go ahead, bro.
So let's put it like this.
That cover it?
Yeah.
I figured that's where we at.
We covered everything.
Yeah, I missed a little segment there. I wanted to say something. I heard y'all when y'all were talking about the fake gamer things. My girlfriend called me over. I don't understand, and I told this to somebody the other day, in a hobby that is about passion and enjoyment that we get out of this. I don't understand all the frauding. I don't understand all the fake capping for all these games they now playing. I don't get it. Like, it's literally for the enjoyment, you know what I'm saying, that you get out of the games. So I don't understand why we catch so many people lying about what they, you know, the hours they putting in, you know, or the games they playing, or as much as they play. That is just the oddest thing to me. I don't get it. I've always been a person that keeps it 100 anyway, and everybody I mess with, you know what I'm saying, they keep it 100 too. So that's just, I don't know no other way to be. So yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I know some people got a little persona to keep up.
I like
You know, their online persona, you know, so they can make sure they keep that Patreon money flowing, and whatnot. But yeah, man, it's a lot of, as grateful as I am that gaming has
keep
gotten
them
to
yellow
where it is.
chairs coming in the future. Do you know what I mean? I might get a green one next. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, oh
We'll
yeah.
get the blue.
The
We get
rainbow
the
one.
blue chairs next, man. Blue chairs.
It's a method to
More
the
chairs and games. You know what I'm saying?
it's a method to the cloud chasing. Believe me. Yeah, if y'all want a prime example, I'll tell y'all about that sometime. But Mr. Paris, you know, he's following that
Oh yeah.
that Alana Pierce blueprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all ever remember? Watch how she climbed. Watch
Yeah.
how she moved. Watch the things that she specifically says. There's a specific way to do it. If you willing to sacrifice your online persona for certain things, you know what I'm saying, you could get there too. You know what I'm saying? Don't say nothing, you know, negative. You know, you got your one or two a year you can get away with. You know, sometimes when you feel strongly about something, you know, casually admit that you were wrong on occasion, you know, and cat for everything that's popular. You know, and make sure you take really nice pictures of it. You know, like, you know, your Samsung Note 20, you know, $2,000 package that you got in the mail. You know, so you got to let people know that, hey, look, I can do this, you know, on my kitchen counter, because, you know, my 75-inch TV over there wasn't good enough, or my PC over there with a 3080 in it, or yeah, you know, gamers just want to play on the kitchen counter, and I gotta let you know it's great. Yeah, make sure you cap for that, you know, so you can get that next $2,000 free package, and you keep getting all them free Game Pass. I'm sure I'm sure they use them as coasters now. At this point, they got so many years of Game Pass lying around the house. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
most definitely.
Just gonna put my drink on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need it. Just put my drink on it. But yeah, like I said, man, I mess with all y'all in here 100 because everybody in here just enjoying gaming, and that's what we all been doing since we've been born. You know, since we could hold a controller, and I'm down with that. And I welcome the new people too. A lot of people think it's gatekeeping. You know, I'm not gatekeeping, bro. I'm just telling you to keep it 100.
No.
If you started playing late 360, say that shit. Be honest. That's where you started. You know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing but start where you started. So yeah, when we having a conversation about Jet Moto and Ridge Racer Type 4 and Xenogears, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can't participate. You wasn't there. You know, like the meme says, you had to beat it. You wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. Like I'm not downing you for it, but you just genuinely wasn't there. So keep it 100. And when your time comes, and you know where you started, you know, jump in, be a part of the conversation. I welcome it. I welcome everybody. You know what I'm saying, to gaming. It's just a lot of people out here lying about their resume and they getting caught up, especially with this Game Pass and backwards compatibility, because they going back and playing games that they claim they don't even know they claim they forgot. They claim they played that. You know, a lot of people like, oh man, you know, Bioshock, this and that, and you know, I played for the first time. Hold up, you played what for the first time? So like you getting caught up in lies. Like I don't understand lying about what you played. You know,
My favorite one is if it wasn't for Game Pass, I would not have played this indie title.
yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of, see, somebody gave an honest answer earlier, and this is why I said people think that you after them. No, I just want the truth. Somebody told me
Just want the
earlier.
truth.
He told me earlier. I said, what stopped you from playing Yakuza before it got on Game Pass? Because he specifically stated, man, if it wasn't for Game Pass, I wouldn't, you know, I probably wouldn't have tried it, basically. And
Wow.
now it's one of his favorite games. Now,
Mhm.
to be honest, I told him, he told me straight up. He said, "Well, I didn't know before it was available on Game Pass that it was on Xbox," and I said, "That's fair. Enjoy the game." I didn't give him no crap. I didn't give him no. I just wanted an honest answer. But people think you after them, and they get defensive and they get crazy. It's like, no, I just wanted an honest answer, and that's cool because that makes sense to me because I'm in this, I'm in the industry, I'm interested in all these things, and I honestly remember that they didn't really heavily promote Yakuza until it entered Game Pass. It was available
Right.
on Xbox before Game Pass, but they didn't really promote it until it entered Game Pass. So I can totally believe that he didn't know that it was available. That's cool. You know, that's his answer. That's all he could do is give me the answer. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't after him. I wasn't trying to be, you know, facetious in my inquiry. But people get like that, you know. And I explained that to somebody the other day because I'm into tech and a bunch of other stuff too. So a lot of times I'll see people or meet new people, and you know, I'll ask them what kind of phone they have. Why'd you make that decision? You know, and some people, you know, they want to know my answer first because they think I'm looking for something. And my answer is always technical about my phone because, you know, I have the Note phone because I like the big screen. You know what I'm saying? I like the most power. I like the most memory. I like, you know, I'm a power user. You know, my phone got to be able to keep up, you know? And that's what I love Samsung for that. They constantly push that, and I get on them when they do not do that. So when they go backwards and they remove the SD card and they do all these things, I get on them for that because that's what I love as a power user. But if you got the red iPhone because it was a red iPhone and you wanted a red iPhone, that's okay. That's all that's the answer. But the same way people get defensive about that, they have a predisposition about the answer they should give because they think I'm looking for something when all we
Right.
want is the truth. And that's what a lot of people out here, it's so hard to come by nowadays because like you say, there's so many people out here, there's so many people out here in the gaming, these gaming streets, you know, um, capping for
Frauds.
certain things. Yeah, they fun. They're not playing stuff. They downloading stuff, taking pictures with it, and then not playing or starting it up. Look at the start menu. play it for 5-10 minutes and then cutting it off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but when people ask for your credentials, it's for a reason. You know,
Yes.
and I had somebody the other day, and I get on a lot of girls about this. A lot of girls that game, they assume a lot of wrong stuff from people. And I know one girl in particular. She said she worked at a gaming store. She said she feel like everybody asked her if she really gamed. You know, if she games, and she thinks that's an exclusive question to her, but it's not. I was like, I worked at GameStop. They used to ask us all the time, what you playing? What do you play? I had a manager of my GameStop that did not play games. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an honest thing. You know, people I ask all the time. You know, yeah, after I get to know you and I go to that GameStop, you my local GameStop, I know who in there play games or what you play. You know, like this one person at the time, she only had a Switch. Guess what? Now that I know that, I'll only talk to her about Switch stuff. And then eventually she got a PlayStation. So guess what? We started talking about PlayStation stuff. Like I gotta ask you a question before I know where to start. You know what I mean? So a lot of that's what I mean by a lot of girls, female gamers get apprehensive about that question as if it's exclusive to them and stuff like that. It's not. Everybody got to present the credentials. I want to see where you at. Where's your experience? You know, I talked to Slim when I first met Slim. I asked Slim 100 questions.
Yeah.
You know, because he was new to PC gaming. I introduced him to certain things. I was like, "Are you comfortable with this? Do you think you would want to try this? How about this? This is really great. You might not have tried this before because you were only over here. What about this?" Now I can proceed to introduce him to new things or potential new things that he may like because now I have knowledge about his credentials. I know where you've been, so I can help you. You know, I can help guide you where you might like to go, places you might not have even thought. So everybody has thinks that an inquiry into your credentials and what you play is malicious. It's not. It's like, but if you believe it is, you know, I think therefore I am kind of thing. And it's the same thing with trigger words and stuff like gatekeeping. If you say that word, that's a trigger word. Global warming is a trigger word. I told somebody the other day, if you say, man, it's been 115 degrees for a record high for the last 60 days. It is the hottest summer we have had in a decade, and it's only getting hotter. Nobody can disagree with that statement, right?
Right.
Because you're giving them a factual statement. And they'll go, yeah, man, it's crazy out here. You know, it's crazy. But now let me reword that. Man, it's the hottest summer we done had in 10 years. Global warming is crazy, ain't
Oh,
it?
and dude, if you say that, it's a whole argument, back and forth,
Yeah,
back
it's
and
a whole
forth, back
argument.
and forth.
Global warming ain't real. I don't know where you
Right.
thought about that. Now you see the person got a whole different demeanor because
Uh
you
huh.
used one different word.
Uh-huh.
Same statement, different word.
Uh-huh.
And that's how a lot of people react. They get psychologically hyped up. I call it's like the mob mentality, but you don't need a mob to get there. It's trigger words.
Yeah.
You know, if
Uh-huh.
you know, it's the same thing with stuff that you'll see on Twitter or other situations. You know, it's like the same thing that happened with Johnny Depp not too long ago when she mocked him because she said, "Go ahead and tell everybody I hit you. They'll laugh at you because I'm a woman. They won't believe you." She was dead right. She was dead right, and she knew it. That's a narcissistic personality that knows exactly how to execute what she wanted because she knew the public eye sees men in a particular way, and they don't believe that a woman can be abusive and control a man like that.
Right.
And they can, and they do. And she was beating his ass.
Mm.
But because he's a man,
Uh-huh.
and she beat him to the punch and said, "Nah, he hit me." This man was fighting for his life until the truth came out.
Yeah.
And then even then, the court ruled that basically she ain't do nothing, even though there's
tell you what.
factual evidence.
I tell you what, from personal experience, right?
Mhm.
Putting it out there, I don't give a fuck. Zero fucks.
Yeah, no doubt.
Personal experience, round about the same thing happened with me, but I didn't get fucking abused or nothing like that.
Yeah.
My baby mum wasn't like that, but she played that domestic violence card, and they believed fucking everything she said, and then it comes to the point where everything got disproven. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what the judge done was that they said, "Look, we're going to take it from this point, so we're going to start the case from here." After everything had been proven, what she had said was wrong. They started it after that point. So everything that was said, her lies and all that bullshit, right, was just.
So they threw it out.
Yeah, there's no such
that's
thing.
crazy.
Yeah, and yeah, when it comes to that domestic side of stuff, there's no thing as perjury, so they can lie all they want, and that's basically what happened. So when I see that was going on with Johnny Depp, I thought, oh, it might be all right for him because he's famous all around the world. He's a movie star. He's got plenty of money. I know solicitors, barristers. The law side of it cost a lot of money. I should know. I paid for it myself.
Yeah.
Waste of time. Fucking waste of time. Thousands of pounds down the drain. But I was fighting for my daughter, right? So I had to be part of her life. And I know we're fucking live and but it is what it is. I don't want to get too personal. But yeah. Seeing how it was for him and then seeing how everyone was reacting, I was like, yeah, exactly how the fuck it is. And they'll believe everything the woman says, but when it comes to disproving what they say, it's not looked at. They're like, oh, well, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so personal experience, I understand exactly what he's been through and how the fuck the system works when it comes to that.
Exactly. And that's the danger of the trigger word. Or the trigger situation, as that one is, and basically things that people use to hide the truth, and stuff like that. And like I said, man, that's all we want, man. We out here, just trying to keep it 100.
And the new trigger word is gamer score. That's it.
Gamer score PSN.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of trigger words, Mug's been triggered to purchase a Series S or X, and a lot of people are wondering why. Some of those who made that move, they don't know why. In other cases, if you try to get a PS5, you haven't gotten one. The worst thing you can do to yourself is settle and get you an S or an X, and then try to get a PS5 later. But then you might regret your purchase of purchasing an S or X. If you're one who likes to have technology, good, go for it. But there are some out here who have purchased an S or X and regret getting rid of the Xbox One X for an S, for example. And,
they ain't gonna say that though, because
they did. One person did admit it.
Did they? How long did it take before they crucified his ass?
Well, he didn't get crucified because this happened 3 days ago. But he admitted it, and he regrets doing it. Because look what he gave up. So with the Xbox One X, you guys do 4K on there.
Wait, he gave up an X and got an S?
Yes.
That's a downgrade, bro.
This kind of
look at it. Yeah, this downgrade.
Yeah, they told him it was a downgrade, and he admits that. But he giving up that disc ability. Because the S don't have disc, so he got
it's digital.
Xbox One games that's disc. He can't play it on there.
But see that right there, that's the problem was going on in the community again. Like I said, trigger situations. You got a lot of people out here capping for the S and lying to people about how powerful it is, and it's not. And they, you got a lot of people running around thinking they getting basically the $400 PS5, which is the same as the $500 PS5, except it's all digital, and that is not the case. But you got a lot of people lying out here, and a lot of popular YouTubers, especially, lying out here about the power, about what it's capable of, about what it could do. And I mean, it sucks, but I mean, that comes down to the research that people really need to do when it comes to consumer products, because people will lie to you, and you will go home with an inferior product that goes for TVs, that goes for all this stuff out there. And a lot of people think it doesn't make a difference, and a lot of people think that casuals don't think it makes a difference, but it does. And I'm gonna tell you how I know, because everybody that comes to my house that sees my setup, that sees the picture quality. When I show them games, when I show them movies, they always ask me about it all the time. And my TV ain't even the newest. My TV's the Samsung KS8000. I got people asking me, can they buy it right now? You know what I'm saying? And it ain't even the newest, but it's the research and the way my TV is calibrated and everything that I did with my TV and how it worked out. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I always get the best of the best at the time when I get it, within reason. You ain't gotta waste money. Like some people get caught up in the amount. It ain't the amount; it's what it can do. You know what I'm saying? And that's where people are losing out. They getting caught up in this little $300 for the S, thinking, "Oh man, it's a little powerful machine, this and that." Listening to people and all the buzzwords,
Mm-hmm.
um, instead of looking at what it's actually doing. There's plenty of evidence out there of it, having to go as low as 900p or even lower or something in another game. I can't remember what the game was, but then you got people. I heard a YouTuber he has like 500,000 subscribers, and he was capping for it. It might as well have been an ad for the Series S, and he was like, "Yeah, it's fully capable." And then he was lying, saying like, "Oh well, but if you got a PlayStation 5 or whatever, you'd have to get a new TV." Like he was saying it, but not saying it. Like the wording is amazing. You got to hear it. It's like the slickest thing I ever heard. It's like snake oil, bro. It's amazing. I like how you say it, but not really. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like he was saying like, yeah, you'd get a PS5. That's $200 more. So he was acting like the $400 PS5 didn't even exist. Number one. So he kept saying the PS5 was $500, even though he's talking about the Series S, how amazing he thinks it is, and you won't really have to upgrade to a new TV and this and that. And I'm like, you ain't got to upgrade to a new TV to get a PS5, and you can get the digital version, and still get the same power, have a true next gen experience, and not have to worry about it in the future. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, what are you talking about? But like again, omitting certain facts in a video on purpose in order to drive people towards a specific product. And a lot of people in that video underneath in the comments was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get one because you said 1440p, 120 FPS." And this is another thing. I don't like the 120 FPS thing because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people do not realize the sacrifices that are being made to achieve that on a lot of these games. So when I say I'm paying at 150 or 165 FPS on my PC, I mean ultra setting. I mean non-compromised. I mean everything to the max. Now, a lot of times when they're doing these 120s on certain games, especially on the Series S, you're talking about basically playing, you know, the lowest settings possible in order to achieve that, and people are not telling people this. So, yeah, I mean, I to know that he has that regret, I could see it. But you know what? He's probably one of them people that was on that video, like, yo, I believe this guy that the Series S is everything I'm gonna ever need, and I'm good to go. And it's not. And again, that's the importance of appropriate information and knowing what you're buying out here. So I mean, that's sad. But to the other point about people buying the Xbox X or whatever and not really knowing why, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's a lot of people out here in the community. A lot of people don't pay attention to the other tweets and other information that comes out about some of these people, but I see it. And honestly, some of these people just got more money than sense. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, $500 might be a big deal or a big purchase for a lot of people, but it's not for some of these people realistically. So, and some of them just want another piece of tech. They feeding for it. It's a lot of people out here that are they tech addicts. So when they ain't got nothing else to get, and a lot of them refuse to game on PC, um, ain't nothing else to do but to get the other console.
Yep.
So and the new 4K Switch or whatever it's gonna be ain't even announced yet. So if you got a PS5 and you want something else, that's really your only other choice. So yeah, now don't get me wrong, I don't get the
Oh,
people.
no,
I've
my
seen
daughter's
some
gonna want one of
people
them.
with the,
Wow.
oh yeah, she definitely will. Now the
You
one
can't
thing
be
I
having them
don't get
Pokemon
is
games
people with
looking weird.
the X and the S. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Now, some people made
Do you
arguments.
know what's
They're
even
like,
more weird though?
"What the heck? What's that?"
Sorry to interrupt you. Do you know what's even more weird? When someone has a Series X, a fucking PC. Like,
Yeah, I don't understand that one.
I don't understand that.
yeah, that's like really weird because if you've got a capable PC, right, you don't need fucking it. I'm sorry, and that's another reason why I think if Sony start going down a certain route, then that's when you'll start to see it affect PlayStation, right? Because, like I said before, I said to Cyber a number of times now, if someone sees an opportunity to have everything in one place, right, you can emulate Nintendo stuff, right? Play all the Xbox games, and then theoretically, let's just say if touch wood it don't fucking happen, you can play PlayStation so-called exclusives, well, they won't be exclusive anymore. You can play PlayStation games on a PC. You seriously think that people ain't gonna go, oh, you know what? I'll build a PC. Why the fuck not? I can upgrade it when I need to, so if games start to run a little bit, which they do towards, it happens towards, towards the ends of generations. The games can start to, run a little bit worse. Granted, some do look better and run better, but that's exclusives for you. Just saying.
Yeah.
But if even a casual is the casual window or something, oh, you can play this, and everything in one place. Oh, really? Oh, that sounds great. How much? Well, it might cost you what, $1,000, $2,000 for a capable PC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's okay, because then you can theoretically you don't have to pay for games, and that's what a lot of people do on that side. I'm not saying everyone does, because the old school PC gamers, like yourself, you'll go out there, you'll support what you want to do. But there's a large number of people that don't support shit. They'll pirate everything, and I'm just keeping it 100, mate. That's how it is. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, that pirate's something else, bro.
And they do it without a ship too.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So if the opportunity is there to have everything in one place, then I don't see how people are saying no, it's not bad. Can't see that because we've seen it happen with Xbox. Ain't no one rushing out to buy an Xbox console for that because why not? Why?
Well, that's because a lot of people don't understand PC gaming. They don't understand how easy it's become to get into it and stuff. And realistically, you would see a lot more new PCs right now if the tariffs weren't in place and you could actually get the graphics cards. The PC is basically the only thing. PC is stopping itself right now, to tell you the truth. So, in the meantime, honestly, I've built more PCs for people in the past 6, but prior to the pandemic, basically in the prior 6 months or whatever to the pandemic, I built 5 or 6 new PCs for people who have never gamed on PC.
There you go. And that might not sound a lot to people, but it is in a way because PC gaming is becoming more accessible. Like going back a few years ago, obviously you know yourself, like it was very I hate to say the word because you're not all the same, but it was like an elite thing. It was the top of the fucking food chain. It was, and it still is. And that's what people need to fucking realize is that if all the consoles lose their shit, their face, their identity, then we're going to end up the same as Xbox, in my opinion. But apparently we're idiots and we don't understand. We don't see the bigger picture. But yeah, are they seeing the bigger picture? Because let's be honest, if everything was available on PC, then why the fuck shouldn't I go out and spend a couple of grand on PC? People need to understand that gaming is a fucking luxury. Yeah. So if I want to go out and buy something for a better experience, I'm gonna fucking do that. Yeah?
Well, people honestly, it's a lot of people out here that just don't understand what people are willing to do. And like you said, if everything really went the way they did the Xbox is doing their exclusives, I guarantee. I mean, I'm one of the biggest PlayStation fans there is, but I'd be done.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you that right now. I wouldn't touch another PlayStation again.
Because there'd be no need for you to.
Yeah, there's no need. I'll put all my money, all my spending money in my PC, and that would be the end of it. that would be done. So yeah, they're foolish if they think that that won't be the case. Like I said, right now, no, because it's hard to get a hold of everything right now. Everything except an Xbox. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I don't really care what anybody says. I could have bought an Xbox 100 times by now. I follow the couple of the sites that give you when stuff comes in stock. I graphics cards haven't been in stock for like over a month and a half now, and PS5s have come in here and there, but I mean they're gone in seconds. Like if you're not pre-lined up, like you're not gonna get one. But I could have even gotten one of those. So and then, but like I said, the Xbox, I had to turn off the notification for Xbox because they kept coming back in stock so often, especially the Series S. So yeah, if everything was available everywhere and PC wasn't in the state that it's in right now, where graphics cards cost 2 times more than they should, like they'd be in trouble. Believe me.
Yeah, I think people need to understand that PC ain't as
complex as they try to make it.
I don't want to. Yeah, it's not as complex and it's not as niche. I don't want to say niche. Is that the right word? I don't really.
Well, no, that's the right word because a lot of people seem to think so.
It's not as niche as it was. Yeah.
But a lot of people also think that you have to be attached to like a desk. Like my TV is right beside in my gaming room, and most people have their gaming setup separate somewhere. Like I said, I've seen tons of people on Twitter post their gaming setups, and they have like a separate room with a couch and all that stuff. I could just as easily put a couch right behind. I have a gaming chair, so I don't care. I can kick back, recline. I got a pillow on it. You know what I'm saying? I got the whole thing. So, but I could just as easily put a couch behind me, and my TV is right here, and I got an HDMI cable that could run down and run straight to my PC. Now I don't, because when I play my PC, I have 265 hertz monitors, 1440p, which is the perfect balance between crispy visuals and high frame rate. So I designed it that way. So I like it that way. I've played at 4K. Like I said, I can connect it to my TV at any time, and the performance degradation for 4K isn't worth it to me. A lot of times the game doesn't really look better. It just performs worse, and you're running in 4K. So, well, on PC, it's a different ball game though, because you have ultra settings, you have a bunch of anti-alias and a bunch of other techniques that are not in place. Like I said, when you could just slap everything on max, it's a different ball game. You know, now when it comes to PlayStation and the Xbox and stuff, there are certain things that they do, and there's a reason why a lot of them run 4K, because 4K will help get rid of a lot of those artifacts and a lot of the you don't have to, when you play at 4K, there's a lot, you could put like one MSAA or something, and you'll see no jaggies because the resolution is so high. So stuff like that. So it's more cost effective, performance wise, to go in 4K on those, not only because of that, but also because most people have a 4K TV. There's no 1440p TV. No one has a 1440p TV. That's not a thing. So yeah, there's a bunch of different balances and stuff between that. But yeah, like you said, man, there's a lot of people out here that are fools. But as streaming becomes more popular, people are realizing, that if they really want to become a true streamer and stuff like that. So PC is gradually gaining more and more reason for people to look into it. People want to stream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's There's all these reasons for it.
It's just gotten more and more.
Be careful.
Exactly, and it's not hard, man. Like I said, I told somebody the other day. They asked me why was it a big deal that some people were interested in who built their computers versus who bought them. And I explained to her that, like, I have that conversation for the same reason why, like I told you, that girl that said, why do people ask me if I game, when I work at a game store? And I was like, well, plenty of people work at a shoe store and don't like shoes. Like, you just might work there. Like, I don't know, but a lot of people game on PC because I've helped a lot of people get one that have bought one from some of the sites like iBuyPower and stuff. But they don't really know anything about the PC, like to take care of it and stuff. But they eventually learn how to use it. So I was like, you can use a PC and not really know how to take care of it like that. But honestly, as long as you don't do something crazy, or go to some sites you ain't supposed to be going to, trying to do some underground stuff, you're gonna be all right. Like PCs don't just spontaneously break. Like people act like they so hard. Nah, right now I could press a button. Steam is right here. I move my mouse to Steam. I click on Metro and I press play. I pick up my controller and I can play Metro right now. Just as easy as I can press a button on my PlayStation controller and play a game. Just as easy. So yeah, it's not hard.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
the
a
official
lot of
way.
people seem to make out that you need like a fucking computer degree to play a fucking game on PC. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's not like that. It's not that complicated.
It's not.
It's not. Like,
It used to be a long time
Yeah.
ago. Long time ago.
Yeah,
But it hasn't been that way for years.
exactly. So that's where consoles need to be careful in what they do, because
I agree.
a lot of people will wait. People say, "Oh, I ain't going to sit there and wait 2 years for a fucking game." These motherfuckers will. We're talking about people waited over 6 years for Bloodborne. You know what I'm saying?
Still waiting.
We've got people. Yeah, exactly, Cyber. And they're still waiting for God of War. They're still waiting for Spider-Man. And the prime example is Miles Morales. People have waited to play Miles Morales on the PS5 because guess what? It's better than the PS4 version. So if there's a PC version, you think they ain't gonna fucking wait? So the whole
if it ever becomes guaranteed,
like that.
Yeah, if it ever becomes like a guarantee that like every year and a half after a game releases on PlayStation, it'll release on PC, tons of people will forgo a PlayStation. I promise you. I mean, heck, with Erica Cuts or whatever for the win the other day, she thought for a second that the new not Bloodborne, but the new Demon Souls was going to be on PC. She almost had a heart attack because she was like, "Oh, I would have just waited."
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so plenty of people will wait.
Yeah, so the whole entice people to the platform is just no.
PlayStation is not above needing to entice people. That is exactly what they need to do. They need to continue to build and strengthen the platform. And yes, despite what people may think, and because people always try to use the argument, what's wrong with more people playing games? Nothing. But the problem is for the brand is that you will ultimately weaken the reason people come over there. People have come for a single reason. People think one game won't do it. I promise you. I had people when God of War was coming out, 2018. I had a girl come up to me because everybody knows I game because I don't hide it. You know, some people I don't know, they're ashamed, but I don't hide it. Everybody knows I game. I gets it in. You know, I had the whole team on mechanical keyboards before I left that place. Because I showed everybody mechanical keyboards and how much better gaming mice were. People, you got to show people what they want. A lot of people don't know what they want.
Very true.
But she came up to me and she said, "I need to get a PlayStation," and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy. Why? What's happening? Like, I never heard you talk about gaming before." She was like, "I used to, but I haven't really gotten around to getting one. But I heard God of War is coming out, and I seen it, and I gotta get a PlayStation." That's it. One game.
Yeah.
And from there, she bought Spider-Man.
Yeah, I see it for myself with Spider-Man. I've got a friend who games on PC and he bought the limited edition Pro. He didn't just go out there and buy a normal PS4. No, he went out there, he bought the limited edition. Do you know what I mean? He went out there and done that. Do you know what I mean? That was just for Spider-Man. Well,
I had another friend the same way. All he did was play League of Legends. He played League of Legends and something else on PC. And when Spider-Man was coming out, he's like, "I'm one of the biggest Spider-Man fans on the planet." He's like, I seen the PS4 Pro. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. See? And he bought it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
And that was an entry into the PS4. And since then, I played several games with him on PlayStation. But otherwise, he wouldn't have never had it. So people think there ain't no crossover or it's very little crossover. I was like, no, you can create more. If you keep telling people all these games are coming to PC, people will gradually get wise. And people will gradually make that investment. You think right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, what you really need is about if prices were where they really were supposed to be, you wanted a decent performing PC about 15 to 1600. You know what I'm saying? For maxed out everything. And
There you go. There you go.
and
And you'll have access to
what
everything as well.
you'll have access to everything. And you know what we just got? Everybody just got that $1,400 stimulus check. A bunch of people wasn't anticipating that money. So most people are just blowing that money. And you know what they would have blew it on? A PC. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
there's
why
a
not?
yeah, why not? Yeah. And people think like,
Uncle Sam
oh,
buying it for you.
yeah, you need this or you need that. I'm like, yeah, that's just the tower, but that's everything you need. That's going to come with the mouse and keyboard or whatever. You can make upgrades and change shit around later. I didn't start with 265 hertz monitors. People act like you got to get everything out the gate. And then don't get me wrong.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's
I know
what I
some
mean.
people that are
Yeah.
balling like that dropped 5-6K on a whole setup and went nuts. They got it like that. But people ask me that all the time because people see my setup. And
See, that
I'm
sounds
like,
stupid that I would do.
yeah.
I don't need to.
But I've seen people do.
Why not?
But if you got it, you could do that. But I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, this started from a single desk. No art on the wall, no crazy speakers, no none of that. It was a single desk and a PC from Craigslist. Now, years later, we sold that PC. We built another PC. We both built PCs. 4 or 5 years later, we sold those PCs. People are still gaming on those PCs, by the way. Now we got our third PCs. Now we have different monitors. We sold the old monitors. Gradually you make upgrades, like you would do with anything else. I didn't buy it all day one.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, just as you gradually do it with buying a new TV, when you are buying a new system or whatever, you could do the same thing with PC. The same thing.
I'm saying so consoles need to keep what stand out, what segregates them. Everything else.
Mhm.
Don't push people onto a different ecosystem, because you want a few extra pennies. Like Cyber says, they're making dollars but chasing pennies. Don't jeopardize what you've got. It's true though.
Yeah.
It's very, 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 very wise words, man. Don't jeopardize what you're doing and what you're making now just for a few pennies. Let's be real, because people seem to be making out that Horizon sold so many and they made so much. Yeah, take out the 30% cut, and then let's not forget about the tax man who's going to come knocking on the door as well. Yeah. Because we all love the fucking tax man who's going to come and take our money that we've earned, don't we? Yeah. Don't forget
And the
about
patch payments, all those patch payments, man.
Yeah, and for what? Likely that money is probably going to be used. Do they really need to put it into the studios? No, not really. Probably not. Look at their financials now.
Well, and that's what I spoke on with somebody. It was like, oh well, all this new money they get, they can infuse it into the studios. And I was like, look, man, I was like, even okay, if you started making $100,000 a year, right, and previously you made 40, that doesn't change the price of the car that you bought.
Nope.
So if you bought,
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Well, it's the truth. People keep saying all this extra money.
Facts.
I'm like, if it costs you it costs them $200 million to make a game, they're not all of a sudden gonna be like, all right, you boys got $400 million just because we made more money. No, they want to pocket that money. It cost $200 million before. Let's make it cost $200 million now. Now, if we need the money now to go over a little bit more, we got the money, but I'm trying to put that in my pocket. And believe me, as a business, they always trying to put it in their pocket. I don't care if it's Microsoft. I don't care if it's Sony. I don't care if it's Nintendo. They all trying to put it in their pocket because they all got shareholders.
Exactly. Thank you. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. It's not all profit like people seem to think it is.
Yeah, you got to pay that back.
The financials it is. That's what that is what it is. But when we're talking about game sales, essentially at the start, it's not guaranteed. It's not 100% profit. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You got dividends.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna hold y'all. Like you said, that was about it. So I know we all got some gaming to do before we all get out of here and go to bed. Yeah. So
it's nearly 3 o'clock in the morning for me. There is no fucking bed now. There is no.
Hey,
you got 3.
hey,
I got almost 10.
I appreciate you coming through though, because I knew it was late for you over there.
That's all good, man. I'm used to it. Like, you know, sleep's a cousin of death, mate. So, do you know what I mean? Live while you can, breathe while you can. You know
No doubt.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm about to get on this Borderlands with my boy Slim, introduce him to the other side of life.
Okay, there you go. Yes.
Well, do you know what? If I ever get kicked over to the PC side of things because Sony want to start fucking up, I know where I'm getting my advice from, mate.
Hey man,
Same-
I got you. I just
same
followed
here.
you on Twitter. I just followed you on
Same
Twitter
here.
too. So
Same here.
Okay,
Same
nice.
here.
Okay, so say no more. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't boot me over to the other side because from what I'm hearing, it don't sound like I'll be coming back if I go over there, mate. Let's be real.
hey man, it's lovely
putting it
over
out
here.
there.
It's lovely over here. I can't
That's
lie.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
Yep. So
I used to be on that side a long time ago until my laptop didn't work no more.
Hey man, it happens. It happens, man.
Mhm.
But
Different
like I said,
situation.
I've been on PC.
Okay, well, good.
Go ahead.
Well, since we signed off here, I'll go ahead and go first. Cyber Dragon here. I'm on Twitter and have a YouTube channel. Currently, I did the PS Now for $1 for 1 month. I got my renew turned off so it doesn't renew, but I did it for one reason.
Put it on.
Because even though PS Now dropped 2014, I never needed or used it, But I always wanted to play Ace Combat 7. It leaves the store in 64 days. So that's what I rented. I mean, you might as well say I rented it because I'm streaming my playthrough of that, and then once I beat the game, delete it, and I'm good. So I'll be streaming that. Occasional streams of Bless Unleash, any titles I feel as though I want the world to know about. So that's what I've been doing and working on. Next.
Yeah, like I said, beginning just innate or online, better known on Twitter and whatnot as the real innate, ENATE, for anybody that's just listening and not watching. Yeah, man, like I said, we're just gonna keep it gaming. That's what it's all about. Look forward to these new games and introduce some people to some of these old games, and show some people to the other side of life, like I said, on this PC thing. And we're just going to keep it moving.
All right. This is the Rec here. You ready to know? I'm on YouTube and I'm on Twitter. Catch me on both of them. And y'all stay safe, man. You know what I'm saying? Slim?
Hold on, y'all.
Slim, you there, bro?
You might be caught up right now.
Oh. So, hey. I haven't been playing anything, man. I've been playing on the phone and stuff. I haven't been on anything. I'm trying to get me a PS5, but I don't have the money at this moment. But it's all good though. I'm gonna get my hands on one day.
You'll get there, man.
Yeah.
I've been back and forth between Borderlands 3 on PC and
All right, I'm back.
Death Stranding on PS5 or whatever. So
man, I'm
that's
ready
where
to
I'm
play
at
some
right now.
Borderlands.
Death Stranding. He said them 2 words again. Death Stranding.
Hey man, I'm going for it, baby. I'm almost done.
Hey, I got the game, man. I love the game.
I love it.
Game.
No, you don't. You ain't got the game.
I'd be a postman as much as I teach.
I got receipts, man.
I'm gonna have to check it then. I'm gonna have to check
Go
them
for it,
goddamn
brother.
receipts.
Well, I'm gonna head out real quick because I gotta make a run to the store.
Oh yeah,
to
man.
Get, to
It's
get
9
my
o'clock.
baby's coffee and her iced tea, and then it's time to game.
Yeah, because on my time it's 9 o'clock, so it's getting late. So I'm about to
Exactly. So I'm ready to jump on it.
about to end this. But if it's first time to the channel, you make sure you hit that like and subscribe button.